This is Annie Kid Wolf, and you're watching This is Punk Rock of Punk Globe Magazine.
1, 2, 3, 4. Punk rock, punk rock, punk rock. 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 It ain't brain surgery. Punk rock, punk rock, punk rock. 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 It ain't brain surgery. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do we have any fans of Kiss here? That's right, they're a bunch of old men milking it for all it's fucking worth. I think the regulars here during the day have less hip replacements. This is Evil Robots. Here, have a turn. All right, you're gonna kneel down and lick my boots. I know it's not them. It's Evil Robot, yes. I know it's not them. It's not yes. It's about conspiracy. Spread quiet infamy. You know it's not me. It's Evil Robot team. The third reunion tour. We're still making great. That's right, bow down before the demon. Let's see your hands. Master, where's the cash and I'm in after? Wow. Rock and rollers don't fade.
Wow, here we go. Right on. We have Val, Lord Heathen,
Well, hello.
with us today. Val,
Yes.
comes from metal, but you have some huge punk rock influences in your background. So I wanted to get your take on This is Punk Rock.
Well, thank you for including me, and you are correct. Okay, those of you who don't know who I am, I sing for a few heavy metal bands, the most prominent being Zimmer's Hole, and my stage name is Lord Heathen, and I've been doing this ever since high school playing music, and to be honest, it started with punk rock. From like, I used to hang out with a guy named Dennis Engstrom in high school. He had his giant chainsaw mohawk, this ridiculous fuck off hairdo, and I was like, okay, this motherfucker's cool. What is this guy about, right? And he was listening to like GBH and Exploited and Fear, and I thought, wow, this is fucking some fucking stuff with some teeth, right? And back then, I mean, it was some pretty lame pop music and rock, and punk rock was like a sharp knife cutting through all of it for me. And I used to hang out with this guy, and we'd sell joints in the courtyard and whatnot. But it definitely set me on a path, right? And
Hmm.
I remember when going to the record store, and I bought Haunting the Chapel, Slayer, and In God We Trust, Dead Kennedys. And that was the real Dead Kennedys with Jello Biafra, Don't Be Fooled. And
Don't be fooled.
like, holy shit, that was on fire, And it was like, wow, a very politically charged, like talking about fucking like the ketone factory, polyester catalysts poisoning neighborhoods and stuff. Like people weren't writing songs about stuff like that,
Yeah.
like being socially aware and like standing up and voicing your opinions and calling out injustice. And that was rad for me, right? And I've always incorporated a little of that into my heavy metal voyage, to be honest. I was influenced by the the anti-establishment, the fuck the man sort of vibe of punk rock. And as a young man, of course, that fuels you.
Yeah, I've known that about you for many years. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you here is because I'm trying to get voices from all different types of musical genres because the thing is that we all come from a place of different influences, right? And punk rock as music, but also as a movement influenced so many type of people and sent them on a path to whether it be metal or being a stockbroker. It doesn't matter. It influenced a
No,
lot of
it's
people,
true. It's true.
right?
It's a very seminal art form, right? And I think highly underrated by the layman that never got into it.
Yeah, and okay, so for you, what does the word punk rock mean to you? Just when it comes to your head, like what in your heart, what does that actual word mean to you?
I guess it's sort of um, you're not going along with the status quo. It's sort of in a way critical thinking and like fuck authority. Like it was sort of the thing that appealed to me, like to just fuck the establishment, anarchy. Like that's what punk rock. It's just standing up and going, yeah. And if I have to boil it down into its purest thing. It's like just
Mhm.
standing up and going, no, fuck that shit.
And so with your vocal styles, you have an amazing voice.
Thank you.
I love your voice. It's incredible, and so many people around the world do also. So I have heard that punk rock influence in your metal songs. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and so for you, has there any been, like you said, you talk about the Dead Kennedys or you talk about different punk bands. Is there any in particular that you feel like maybe you borrowed some of their influence into your songs, or is it just all of you just encompassed these metal punk rock?
Okay, well, to be honest, Jello, not so much his style, but his sort of approach and his lyrical content. As a result of that influence, there's always been a little bit of political commentary that has creeped into my lyrics, most definitely.
Mhm.
And uh, shit, it's like, Okay, well now I've started a black metal band called Grave Mass,
Right. Yeah.
and I don't know how to put this the right way. Punk rock's always sort of been, no offense intended, and sloppy and rough around the edges,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they don't fucking care. They don't care. It's like the just rock, you know? And yes, that has definitely crept into my black metal project.
Fantastic. And you do have this new band, Grave Mass. And
Yes.
when is that album coming out? And do you have a video for it, or can we put any videos on this to show people? I
Yeah.
definitely want to put a Zimmer's whole video in here too, to
Well,
so
in
people
the
can get it.
tradition of early punk rock, heavy metal, and black metal, and tape trading, we decided to release 3 demos. And they're on Spotify, they're out there. And we filmed 2 videos for 2 of those demos just to give you a flavor of what the band's all about. And we've just finished a full-length EP. It's in the mixing process and mastering. Probably within a couple months, we'll be releasing that. And go check out the 2 videos on YouTube. Spitting Hell and Slaves to Pain. Wow. And we're playing Armstrong Music Festival this summer, doing a Western Canadian tour. So
That's
yeah, look
great.
out for Grave Mass. It's a lot of fun.
And you also have a band that is fantastic called West of Hell. I really like that
Unfortunately,
band.
West of Hell broke up. That was a thrash metal, power metal thing, and all the members were originally from New Zealand. But Canadian immigration does not recognize being a musician as grounds for status. So my band got deported.
But that music is out there to check
It
out. So
is out there, and
definitely
it's a
want-
lot of fun too.
yeah,
I
it's
check it
great.
out. I check it out.
And also, so tell me a little bit about Zimmer's Hole. Does Zimmer's Hole have any albums coming out, or are you guys doing any recording and any shows for that, or are you just kind of put that on hold for a little bit?
Well, we've decided not to beat a dead horse and play shows based on the old material. It's been a while since we put out new material. So we've been working on a new record for a few years now. I have no dates and to let you know when anything's going to happen. So you just have to, you know,
Mhm.
keep your ear to the ground on that one. But Zimmer Soul is still rolling. That machine's still rolling.
That's good to know. Definitely. So, do you have anything that you want to tell the people out there? This is really cool, and I'm so glad that you could come on here, and we're gonna put a whole bunch of links underneath to so that people can go and check
Well,
out.
I've got more to talk about my punk rock roots. So come on.
Oh, awesome. Okay, bring
Okay.
it on.
I
I'm in.
mean, okay. What about Vancouver, man? What about our West Coast scene,
Perfect.
right? Like
Love it.
there's a really funny thing that Sid Savage from Death Sentence, his uncle worked for my dad. So I have this strange connection to Death Sentence. Yo, donut. And of course, we have these crossover bands that were very much, some of them started punk rock and then became heavy metal, and some of them just sort of fused the two together, you know, like I was really into early Corrosion of Conformity, and then they did a real 180 to heavy metal, right? The Dayglow Abortions, they've always had a little bit of metal flavor, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I love those guys. I mean, you've got DOA for fuck's sakes coming out of Vancouver. Wonderful group. I mentioned Death Sentence, right? And it's funny, my first band, The Kill, we did some support for DRI when they did their crossover record, going from like a skate punk style to more of a heavy metal style.
Right.
So, you know, and there's been a lot of that in Vancouver where the two
Mhm.
genres have sort of fused into this new baby, if you will,
I agree. I agree. I
right?
think Vancouver is amazing and an amazing, it's great that you're touching on a lot of this because people don't realize that even some of the musicians that played on, they played on this album or they played on that album. They're like, oh, he's a punk rock bass player, but he's playing on this metal, fusion project. Oh, he's playing jazz now. Oh, I just saw him at the jazz club or some craziness, right? So Vancouver has its own, full on scene, right?
Yeah.
And people go back and forth. Paul Hyde was talking about that too, and how they came up, the Payolas came up, and they just became super huge and mainstream, but their roots were very punk
But
rock.
also at the street level, I think like more extreme heavy metal and punk rock, we've always sort of been strange brothers in the gutter trying to get the venues happening, trying to get the shows happening, and doing gigs where there's a punk band and a metal band, and it's a mixed lineup. And I think we've always sort of push you shove me, but it secretly got along. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then, like,
Definitely.
I mean, this influence goes deep. Like, you take a look at Motorhead. How much of Motorhead is fucking a punk flavor, right? Dare I even say it? Early Motley Crue was more punk rock than glam metal, in my opinion, in sound, right? But where they went, never mind. But this is a theme it's, and I don't think a lot of fans that aren't really leaning towards punk realize that one of their favorite bands might have a good genetic sliver of punk rock in there.
Definitely. No, that's really good. I have friends who are so tunnel vision on punk rock, and they're like, this is punk rock. Oh, that band sucks. That band sucks. And they don't realize that a lot of those bands that they're saying that band sucks have a lot of roots in punk
Oh
rock.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
So,
then I know, like you said, I know guys, that play in a metal band and a punk band. Like my buddy Rodney Riot, the drummer, he's got a great punk band and like I can't genre
mhm.
paint him with the brush, but the guy's all over the place, which I like that. And I think that's what the diversity that makes music great.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Vancouver's a great example because we're from the Vancouver scene, right? And
Yeah.
everybody works together. And
Yeah,
so,
you as well. Hello.
a little bit of punk and metal, and who knows what the fuck I do. I don't fit in any box. It's kind of sad. I wish I kind of did at times. Kind of the outcasts of the outcasts.
Oh, you don't want to get typecast into a
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit more about because your insight is great. I love what you have to say, and if there's anything else you want to bring light to or stuff that you want to say or just this is your platform, baby. Just say it, man. Say
Well, I think you have to get out and support your local bands. Fuck Spotify. Go to a fucking dirty, stinky club and see a fucking punk band made up of 20 somethings. Like this music is seminal, and like I'm sure how many musicians started off in a punk band and they went to do something incredible, global, but that was the roots of what, fed them. And it's like it's something that I've seen touring around the world actually, that there is that crossover between punk and heavy metal, like the venues in Europe and stuff where I've played. Uh, it's, a punk band the next night kind of thing. And I mean, okay, there's this elitist musical fucking bullshit. I've played with guys who are like, fucking punk sucks. They don't know how to play. Only three chords. It's like, fuck off. It's either a good song or it's not a good song. Like,
it.
that's what matters, not look what I can do. Let's-
Yeah. I totally get it. I totally get it. And that's the sort of the dichotomy of punk and metal. It's like, "Wah," because metal is so I am precise. This is perfect. This is classical scales. Da, da, da. And punk is like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. And so
I believe you can't lose that though, right?
yeah, I think you're right. And I
Or
think
else it turns into wank.
yes, and I also think that that, when we think about the word punk, or we think about punk in general, we think about it as music, but it's also such a movement, right?
Yes.
When you tapped on that earlier on in the interview, like you talked about, the fuck you attitude. And a lot of people have said about punk being so do it yourself, like, because that's what we had when we were younger. It's like we're putting up posters, and now we're just doing a different version of it online, because a lot of punk bands don't have label support. And if they do, they're independent labels that are all just working together and trying to survive, right? So we
Yeah.
all kind of work together. And I know you've done the real do it yourself and stuff with all, in Zimmer's Hole is a perfect example of like creating all the, the makeup effects and the prosthetics, and creating all of that stuff yourself, you doing it besides,
But no one's going to do it for you. Like you have to
exactly.
build it from the ground up, right?
Yeah, and you created a full-on stage show with that, which to me, that is kind of the root of punk. That is the root of that do it yourself. And I remember you practicing in your warehouse for hours on end because like just because that you were doing it, you're on your own, right? And nobody was telling you what to do or what not to do. And I think that's awesome. And to me, that is a punk movement. That
It
is,
is. It is
you
absolutely.
know.
One thing, I think that in the past, I don't know, 10 years or something, maybe more than that, punk rock's, that word has been mm, dragged through the mud a little bit, and pop music has tried to appropriate it. And I'm sorry, but you are incorrect. Punk rock should smell like vomit, piss, and stale beer, not Avril Lavigne. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of agree. I kind of agree. And I think it's great that, we're trying to, bring some light into some old punk rock and sure, new punk rock, whatever the case is, but just what it means to people, and what that movement means, and where it resonates with them. So, you know.
The world right now is absolutely in fucking turmoil, and I believe my young punk rock friends, it is time to stand up and open your fucking mouth, say something, please. Like, how much fuel do you fucking need? Look around you. Now is the time for a punk rock renaissance, and people should stand up and say what they need to say.
Well, maybe you need to start a punk band.
Oh, do I need another band?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Exactly. You never know. Oh my God, that would be awesome. Well, I really appreciate you being here and talking to us about all this stuff. It's wonderful
Well,
because
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's great. And yeah, everyone out there, check out West of Hell, Zimmer's Hole, and Grave Mass.
Brave Mass.
Is that like a
Oi!
play on words of like mass grave man? Oh.
Yeah,
I had to,
we're just riding their coattails. No.
I just had to have a little poke. You know me. We go way back, so it's awesome. Okay, well, my friend, thank you so much for being here and for, sharing your lovely stories with the nation. They will all appreciate it.
Well, my pleasure and best of luck with your journey.
It's a journey.
So far,
Journey. They're
so
not coming on here.
Oh.
Real day. stench of death!